location. We're in 2009. We had a really amazing encounter with 4 Bigfoot creatures, at least. And it's kind of like tonight, kind of foggy. So don't have any clouds. It's actually clear out, but it was foggy. We had drizzle that night.
Misty rain.
Misty rain. So when we came out here, we went over here.
We were actually on the other side.
Well, no, we came over here first, did we? Well, it was close to this pavilion.
It was on the other side.
So it was close to this pavilion.
Yes, but it was on the other side because there's a tree back there.
Okay. And we did some tree knock, and then we heard something like
there's a raspy breathing.
Raspy breathing. So then we wheeled around.
And we listened. We walked straight across this road.
And we went on the other side. And we came over here. I think we did a couple tree knocks on this tree.
We did do some tree knocks here. And we stood right here in this roadway. And we stand all up this hill. And in here you saw eye shine. I saw a deer off up in here.
Yeah, up in this area.
It was a little more grown up and fish, I believe, then.
Yeah, well, let's fall the year. So, yeah, there wasn't as much foliage on the trees. That was for sure. But yeah, I saw eye shine up in this area. And
start having little rocks.
Right. We were thinking it was coming from one of the trees, like a nut or something, but we looked around, and that's when we actually were seeing the little rocks hitting the ground. So, and then we heard something back over this way, like a rustling, and I wheeled around. I had a brighter light than this, and I shined it over that way, and on the other side, you thought you saw something.
Just for a second, seemed to be a shape. Looked like it was a large 8 to 10 foot shape. It was hairy and posed like this just for an instant, and then it was just gone.
Nothing definite, just a brief glimpse of what could have been.
Yes. And then when we walked back down the road, which we had to do, because this area is closed off at night, and
we had to do it in utter darkness.
It was completely dark. And we were hearing like crashing and breaking of branches and footfalls.
Things like something walking on this hillside up here. And when you get just a little further down the road, there is a creek on this side. And as we were walking on down the path, you could hear things in the woods walking on this side, hear things splashing in the creek on this side.
Mm-hmm. Was it recording?
Mm-hmm.
I just heard a noise.
Sound like a bird, though.
That's a deer.
And we continued on this way. And we're not going to be able to keep the light on much longer as we get closer this way. Someone from the main road could see us. We just wanted to come in here tonight and film and to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what the conditions were here.
Yeah.
It was much cooler, wet, drizzly. It was October.
Yep, and we walked down this way. We were hearing crashing on either side. We stepped over the gate at the end of the road here, and then we went down. There's a cemetery that we'll go to, and that's where we got screamed at.
One of the more
probably saw you in your face, and was like,
well, there's no question.
Utter terror.
Screamed, it saw you.
All right. Well, this is the cemetery that we were in when we got screamed at in 2009. We had just come from the church area that we were in earlier, and we got to the cemetery, and we were sitting here talking. You were talking.
We were right beside this tree. We done a couple tree knocks. We turned out the light, and we were talking about some things that happened in the other side of the park.
You were relaying what happened to you, what you saw.
Yes.
In the flashlight light.
Yes, and we turned off our lights. We were standing there, and while we were talking, something screamed at us. One of the most bizarre, jargony,
god-awful screams, because it was loud.
It almost sounded like some discorporated language or something, didn't it? I mean, just
but it was very guttural and loud and went through you.
It almost reverberated. It was almost be the right word.
And you staggered back and you flipped on the light.
It really freaked me out. I was like trying to get back and get my light on.
But by the time you got the light on, the woods over here is where we heard it from, on this side. And
they're probably, what, about 20 feet from here, and then they're about 20 or 30 feet thick?
Yeah. And we didn't, when we turned the light on, we shined it around, we didn't see anything. And so you thought it might have been a ranger or something.
Yeah, because the ranger's house is just right off the hill back here. So I thought he might have snuck up there and was trying to mess with us at first.
So we went around and we sat down on a fence on the other side, and we could hear something in here like breaking branches and stomping around. And that's when we were just sitting on that fence line. We sat there for a while, talked.
Probably almost a couple hours, I would say.
Yeah, and that's when I started smelling something, because there's a bridge that you have to cross to get over here from the church area. And that's when we got that really putrid,
really skunky,
smell.
Oily, stinky smell.
Yeah, and so I shined my light over there, and that's when I caught the eye shine off the top of the bridge. And it was about 4 feet off the bridge, and then it shot up to about 8 to 9 feet off the ground, and then it went across the road. And then we saw another eye, and we kept seeing them, and there were two.
They seemed to be transversing across the bridge.
And then we went closer, and that's we walked out, and there's this field over here. We walked out into the field, and we shined the light under the bridge, and that's when we saw the one. And it was kind of peering around, and it kept moving.
Kind of bobbing and weaving around, and it would step
like
out.
We're dancing.
And then, and we're very good at that, by the way.
Yeah.
Dance off, bro. But anyway, we would.
What? Anyway, don't get your hand in my bubble. We talked about that, really.
Yeah,
really?
right in your bubble. Kangle hat, don't touch me. You've been handsy with me all day, and you knew it was a Sabbath.
Know.
Get your hands off me.
But anyway, so we saw the one under the bridge. Then we were hearing the one on this side, just breaking branches and everything. And that's when we saw one that was on the other side of the creek that the bridge goes across. Go across the creek and go into the woods where we were hearing all this noise right next to us on the left-hand side.
But again, what you forgot to mention is every time we got close to the bridge, we'd
It
walk
was
down and
breaking
try
more
to see it.
branches.
It would get louder and more agitated, it sounded like.
Right, and so we started backing off. And we backed off, and over here there's a baseball field. And the low-lying fence we were sitting on, there is a garbage can. And so we backed up, we stepped over the fence, we kept going.
We kept our back to the field where we could watch what was going on.
Right. And there's a light in the field, so, you know, we could see what was behind us. We couldn't really see too much in front of us, except when we had the light on. And so we stepped over the fence, and we kept going a little bit, and then I was shining my light around. I turned it on, shined my light around, and it hit the garbage can, and right behind the garbage can, there was this ape-like creature. It was a Bigfoot.
I seen it come look like knuckle walking kind of up behind it. And when I saw it, it was kind of just peering up over it. And then it kind of ducked back down and peer out to the side and look at us. And you say that you could see its legs
on either side. And
I didn't see.
When I hit it with the light, it threw its hand up like this, and it kind of tilted its head down like that and squinted. And I could see that the skin was black. It had kind of dark brown hair. And you said that the light was...
To me, the way the light was hitting it, almost looked like it was a lighter... It was brownish. It was not tan by any stretch of the imagination.
But a lighter brown.
But a lighter brown.
So it could have been the angle of light, because all I had was a dim... my flashlight was getting dimmer. It was a lamp battery flashlight. So it had a good amount of light coming from it, but it was starting to slowly go down because the battery was starting to die on it. And I had my camcorder in my pocket, but I didn't want to reach for anything because the thing was like 10 to 20 feet away from me. And I didn't want to reach for something and, you know, all of a sudden...
Well, because clearly one of them was protective of the rest of them.
Right.
And I suspect it was the one behind the garbage can. And, you know, we said that when we walked towards the field or towards the bridge, that it would start stomping and breaking things. But what we didn't mention is we'd back off and quit. And
Right.
when we'd try to reapproach the bridge, it would start up.
Right. And so
We've done that 2 or 3 times.
and we didn't know what their intent was, and at me reaching for something, you know, it wouldn't take much for them to reach out and just pop me and I'd be dead.
And finally, the one come across the bridge area.
Mm-hmm.
And so we figured it might be time to scoot.
Right, so we got out of there, and when I pulled out, I hit my headlights hit the garbage can. There was nothing behind it, and we came back over the bridge, and we drove over to where the road goes down to the picnic area and all that, and in the dewy grass, there you could see where something had been walking through there, and there was a lot of different trails.
Yeah, all around it.
And you said there's a pear tree?
There's a pear tree there, and I think that there was some late autumn pears on the tree. And I think that there was probably over there, because there's a lot of tracks right around the tree, I think they were gathering pears off of it.
Maybe we interrupted them. Maybe they're like, what are you doing over here?
No, I think what we interrupted was, I think they were going through the cans over at that other,
That's possible.
that one area over there.
Because I've had that happen when I was the only one in the campground.
Because it looked like nobody had emptied the trash yet, and it looked like there was like a lot of stuff in the cans.
Right. Because I've been to a campground where I was the only one there, and that night, I could hear something going through the garbage cans, and you know, it got close to where I was camping, banged a Presto log on a table that somebody had left there, our friend Stuart, and so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I've experienced that I could kind of understand that might have been what was going on. But yeah, we haven't had too much happen tonight.
Some distant calls.
Distant calls. We had whoops and things of that nature, but not anything
Of a
like
Bigfoot
that.
nature.
Well, it could be Bigfoot, but you know,
Well, I
close
mean,
enough.
Any definite.
anything we'd talk about tonight that might have occurred that would be Bigfoot nature.
Right, wasn't as exciting as that night. We were all like giddy. You were giddy as a little schoolgirl. I remember that.
You were just scampering and capering around.
Yeah,
and
I was capering.
You do. You caper quite often.
Yeah, I guess so.
I hear a car come sure hit this light.
And skipping.
Yes,
There's a lot of
skip.
skipping. He
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
Well, I guess since there are people in the park trying to sleep, and it is disrespectful to be out here carrying on the cemetery at, 2 o'clock almost?
it's 1:30.
1:30. We probably ought to cut this short, and we'll report something back to you a little later.
Yeah. So, but this is us coming from the location. We had our 2009 experience, and we're gonna keep doing these videos. We're gonna go
As
to
long
different
as I can stand looking at this hideous grotesque.
Yeah, same here.
Looking at yourself?
No, looking at you.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna keep doing this, and we're gonna go out to different locations and try to get evidence for you. So, and you're gonna have to deal with our banter. Yeah, because Neanderthalish.
Yeah,
It's like looking at a
Human
bald Bigfoot right here, just shorter, and
it is.
yeah.
You know, I was thinking just the other day, and I even told the kids, Nathan, that with the political climate in America the way it is today, and I don't mean to turn this political at all whatsoever, but we see all kinds of rioting, people just running wild in the streets and protesting. If anything on God's earth should be rioting and protesting, it should probably be your mirror.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yours too. Yeah.
Yeah, because it don't
I'm
seem
surprised
nearly enough.
I'm surprised you haven't broken a few with that ugly mug.
Well, I have, because you're so hideous. When you looked in mine, your reflection froze in it, and I had to destroy it.
Really?
It's like an H.P.
Yes.
Lovecraft story.
He is just Lovecrafty and hideous, isn't he, folks? but we'll get back with you soon.
All right. Bye.